Welcome back. We are here at another kitchen ambush at another local restaurant with another local chef and another mystery locally made ingredient. We are in Norfolk this week at LeGrand Kitchen with Chef Steve Marsh, and we cannot wait to see what's made because this restaurant is an absolute favorite of the area, specializing in some great food made in different applications than you might be used to, but all some of the best food you'll find in the Eastern Virginia area. So, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell us a little bit about LeGrand Kitchen. Why LeGrand? What does that kind of mean to you? Where did that name come from?
So I live right here in Colonial Place. So this area is kind of near and dear to my heart. So going forward with opening a restaurant, I wanted to make sure that it was down the street. LeGrand was a 60s Norfolk record label. Based off of Church Street, Virginia.
There's a lot of music history from the area.
Correct, a lot, a ton. Unfortunately, we don't have as much as we used to now.
Right.
But so just going forward, I just thought it was probably the most fitting name. I'm in a lot of music, rock and roll, that kind of fit the bill with what we wanted to do. It's kind of a DIY spot where we just bring in whatever we want to and just open the doors and see who comes in and, you know, just fly by the seat of our pants like every single day.
I mean, that's like how some of the best, you know, really traditional best food is made. You know, when there's a, you know, the argument can be made when there's lots and lots of planning, that means there's lots and lots of prep and things made well in advance. With that kind of, as you said, fly by the seat of your pants, it means you're going to have a lot of fresh product made that's ready to use today.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, we're small and we only bring in small quantities in the grand scheme of things. So everything that comes in is, you know, quality. It doesn't sit on the shelf for a long time.
Right.
Unless it's cured meats, but...
And that's okay.
Yeah.
that's
but other than that, I mean, you know, we go through everything pretty quickly here, or work quickly, and when it's done, we move on to the next thing. You know, there's some staples here that we do, like the burger that have this cult following for.
I'm one of those following that burger. I eat it regularly.
Yeah, it's a great burger, and we just we can't take it off the menu.
No, it'd be a revolt.
Yeah, I'd probably get strung up and.
How would you describe that burger? Because you really would. I mean, that people have pictures of that all over their social media almost daily.
Yeah. Well, my landlord calls it a Big Mac on crack. So I would think it kind of hits all the notes that you're looking for in a burger. All like my favorite ones throughout the years. Mm-hmm. We just kind of combined them for which was the ultimate burger, which had the two thin patties, American cheese. Mm-hmm. You got a little spice from the pickled jalapenos.
I think that's an awesome addition.
Yeah, and I mean, like we put it on the menu the second day we're open, and it hasn't been off since. And we've been open almost 3.5 years now. And then going forward, I'm in the process of doing a lunch space down at Shiptown, so be on a lookout for that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people talking about that, waiting to see how this lunch space will, you know, what kind of style of food, you know, how that'll run. And I know that's something that I'm interested in, to see a lunch space down in this area because it's a high traffic work type area.
Yeah, well, with me, I think it's important that we do a lunch spot at some point. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Shiptown has been successful, but I feel like the space could be better used maybe as a lunch spot.
Yeah, definitely.
We do want to appeal to the industry folks that can't come here during the week, that have the same hours as us. I think that's a big incentive of why we're doing it. It's so the industry folks can come out and eat what we're dealing with as well.
Because they do. I mean, there's chefs in the area, other people in the industry in the area that really want to come here to eat, but because you're open same time, so now that also gives you the leeway to be able to really kind of be at both places.
Sure.
Now you have your lunch place and you have your dinner spot.
Sure, yeah. And I would say I'd probably be at the lunch place more when we first open up.
That makes sense.
But yeah, expect just some really good, simple things with, I would think of a Jewish deli nod to it.
Now that's going to be interesting because you don't see a lot of that here.
No, and we have I mean, there's a large Jewish population around here and in Ghent, and I myself isn't Jewish, but I respect the food culture, and I respect a good deli.
And that's, I mean, you look at other, major metro areas, they have a really good deli, whether it's, traditionally a Jewish deli or has that, like you said, Jewish tilt.
Sure.
I mean, that's something that we haven't necessarily had a strong...
Right, yeah. And it's been one of those thoughts for a while now. I mean, I wouldn't tell everybody, get their hopes up, it's going to be a full-on Jewish deli where there's, a spread of pick your own potato salad and all that stuff. But, but we will definitely have a lot of nods to that culture and that style from days of yore. Yeah.
Because they are serious flavors. I mean, they're strong, they're bold, you know them.
Correct, yeah.
So cool. Now, how would you describe LeGrand's food?
So, obviously we're billed as the finer diner just because of our layout here. Mm-hmm. The reality is I think we do a lot of rustic food here. I don't think I've ever seen anybody leave here hungry.
No, I've never left hungry.
Yeah, I think people always leave with to-go boxes, honestly. But like I said, we have every capability to make fine dining and all that, which we do, essence of. But at the end of the day, we just do kind of rustic flair to what we do.
And it's good. And it's what's excellent about it is you'll have some familiar flavors, you'll have some unfamiliar flavors, but you'll also have them put together in really creative ways, and the plating is always really strong. Yeah,
we we like food, and all of us are influenced in some which way or another wherever we go. I mean, even if it's the Vietnamese place down the street, and we go, oh, those flavors were killer. What can we do to bring it back? And we do something with that too. I mean, we don't discriminate on regions or anything like that. A couple months back, we're focusing a couple dishes on like Ethiopian style. Cool. So I don't know. We like to get submersed sometimes and figure, all about a certain culture.
Right.
I mean, we probably bastardize it, but
you're still taking the time to actually get in there and dig into what the culture is, so that when you're going to use that influence, you still have some of the really traditional elements of the influence, but again, adding your flair to it.
Right, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's, what matters. And we still have people coming back, so that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Well, I tell you, there is an element to the show that I think we're about that time for. And of course, we're going to keep talking because there's so much more to talk about when you're here. But we have a special ingredient for you. And we are just coming back from the World Food Championships in Orange Beach, Alabama. And the whole premise of the show is to have a locally made ingredient, meaning made local, made inside a neighborhood with people friends, family. And so we wanted to bring back something special for you because we've been looking forward to coming here.
Cool.
So what we brought back was from a good friend we met named Bill. He does small batch bacon. And so what we brought you is Billy's small batch bacon. I literally watched him pull this out of the smoker. It's pork belly. And I'll tell you, it's some of the best pork belly I've had. He is probably one of the coolest guys I've talked to. Hi, Billy. We know you're watching, so I wanted to say hey. He literally has all of his pork serenaded while it's going through the smoker and being cured, because at his restaurant, he has a wall that separates curing room from the inside of the restaurant, and it's literally that wall adjoins where his stage is.
Wow.
So, you know, just like, you know, happy cows make tasty cows, I guess musically inclined pork makes beggar pork belly. So I'm giving you
We shall see.
his small batch bacon pork belly.
Cool.
And I'll tell you, when he was at the demo, he was pulling it out, and people were lining up. I think on Saturday, he said he had probably over 450 people come out just to try.
Wow.
And they were simply just taking a piece, you know, a couple quick sear on it from a flat top and giving it to people. And even the all great and powerful Oz came around from the back of the camera just to try some.
Awesome.
So it was pretty cool. So what are you thinking about the dish? Do you have a direction you think you might go in?
Yeah, so we got, we're gonna make something essentially vegetarian with the addition to bacon now.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Vegetarian with bacon.
Yeah, we just got some nice squash in, some kabocha squash yesterday.
Nice.
And we spent a couple hours peeling chestnuts yesterday as well. So we're gonna...
Peeling chestnuts. I bet that sounded fun.
Yeah, it's as fun as peeling fava beans. But, so we're gonna use those, essence of that. The squash is really meaty itself.
Right?
I mean, you could probably eat it just as an entree as well and get your...
Because it's filling.
It's very filling. The chestnuts are super rich. Super rich. So, I think we're just gonna do that. Keep
I like
it
this. I like
very
where this is
simple.
going. And I think other people online are watching. Vanessa, do we have comments from people online?
So we do have comments online. Oz, which way? The your way? So we have lots of comments online, actually. In fact, we actually have Donna Ord online, and she said, when it comes to the ambush, like, things will be hard for Chef Steve, laughing out loud. Please, Carnage Asada loves you.
So that's one of the other beauties of being live. You get to get live, you know, real-time feedback from people watching. So, well,
feel free to heckle, guys. I can take it.
There's an open invitation for heckling. It's been the gauntlet's been laid. So while you go and get started, we'll just kind of continue talking.
Sure.
Now you talked about it being the finer diner. Why the diner kind of concept?
Well, when we came in here, it was already built pretty much like a hot dog place.
So that works.
But I just think it's like super approachable. I mean, you're not going to walk in and see a gigantic chandelier or whatever and get really off-put by what we're doing. I know people walk in here, first-timers dressed up, and they walk in and then they kind of look around and they're like, wow, we definitely didn't need to dress up or whatever else.
Feel comfortable to come here.
Yeah, we just wanted to make it super approachable, like all around the board. There's a couple restaurants in Chicago that I really enjoyed going to that just has kind of the same feel, just simple food, but done really well. The Publicans, you know, on the top of that list. Au Cheval is on the top of that list. Just, you know, restaurants like that. Obviously, their build out is a little grander than ours, but the reality is, you know, I feel like you don't need to hemorrhage a bunch of money and a bunch of time and effort if you just want to go eat something really
good food.
Yeah.
And it's funny, when I've been in, it's been that mix. You've had shorts and t-shirts all the way up to people, you know, with business suits that have come in. I mean, even I've come here a couple times with different types of people.
Sure.
You know, VPs of companies, I brought them here, and when they first drive up, they're like, wait a minute,
where'd you
what's
take
going on?
me or whatever,
But then when they see the menu and they start tasting the food instantaneously, it's like, okay, yes, this was the right place to come.
Yeah, we definitely freak a lot of outsiders out. First timers that walk in, and or people from out of town walk in and they're like, I don't know if this is the right place that I was just reading about on Yelp or whatever else, but it is what it is.
And it works.
Yeah, it works. It's been going strong for almost 3.5 years now.
Yep.
And we're pumped every single day people walk through the doors here for sure.
And they definitely do.
So what I'm going to do is, it's really simple. We roasted the squash off yesterday, just in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. And then we cooled them down and just slice them into hunks. we'll probably take some regular sweet potato as well, and we're just going to sear them, kind of give them like a nice caramelization on them.
Really bring those sugars out.
Yeah, and just kind of lightly cook this bacon. Oh, maybe not lightly, but we'll cook it, get some of the fat out, and then we'll make a little quick dressing with the rendered fat as well.
I can't wait.
Yeah, the bacon fat is obviously very delicious. When we use our bacon, we always save the fat and use them to flavor everything from, you know, collard greens to whatever, you know,
nice.
Cornbread. We usually use like Benton's bacon.
Right.
And I mean, that's the prize, and that is the fat. And I'll check this one out too. Some of this, if you cook too long, then the flavor gets shot.
Sure.
I know with Benton's it's like that. They recommend cooking it not crispy, because all that fat leaches out, you lose all that flavor.
Right.
So, all right.
And then, you know, you tend to do things, and as you're working, you tend to do things kind of almost old style and kind of the old-fashioned way, because that's like tried and true, and it works, and it keeps the flavors real. And you know, that's why I really was excited to bring you this one, because literally his whole thing was, every time we talk, was that his bacon is just done the way it used to be done.
Sure.
He uses 3 ingredients, and that is the salt, and then he uses a dark brown sugar and a pink curing salt with no nitrates.
Yeah, that's the best.
And he just keeps it simple, and that's why I thought it was just a perfect combination.
You said it's an 8-day cure, or
8-day
from start to finish?
Yep.
That's great.
So, I mean, it's fun. I'm looking at, you know, behind the counter, you've got a lot of fresh ingredients. You got some roasted, some are just cut and ready to go. You're making a lot of your food straight to order as people are coming in. It's not a lot of things pre-made that you're just reheating.
Correct, yeah. I mean, there's some methods that we use that require just reheating.
Sure.
We do a lot of sous vide cooking here. So some of those things are overnight braises.
But that's part of the cooking process, and when you're serving it is when it should be served. It's not that you're making something, you know, a week ago, so you just reheat it next week.
Right. No, yeah, we're...
Now, I remember running into you when we were talking, one of the times I came up, you were actually coming back from one of the farms where you had picked up your produce. Is local and local sourcing and getting things from the farmers important to you?
It is. I grew up out in Pungo, my teen years, so I actually made friends with a lot of those folks out there, and, you know, basically grew up with a lot of those farmers, or the farmers' sons, farmers' daughters,
right?
All that good stuff. So I think it's, you know, important to support them, obviously.
Absolutely. We spent a lot of time out at Cromwell's, and we went out and shot at Cromwell's, and he showed us around, John Cromwell showed us around the farm.
Yeah, and they're good people, very good people. Elizabeth is great. I think my mom goes out there every single day and heckles her.
Heckles her?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
Well, you're going to have to ask Elizabeth about that.
Well, I don't think anything's wrong with that. I wasn't speaking for Elizabeth. So how many seats at the restaurant?
26.
And even though you guys fill up often, you still regularly, you turn things quick enough to where people can come and have a good meal, and even if there is a wait, it's not going to be a really long wait.
No, yeah. I know this is Norfolk, not New York. A lot of people get turned off when there's a 20-minute wait. But
yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
But I can attest that it's worth it, and usually it goes by quicker than you think. Obviously, we still have the sister restaurant, Shiptown, down the street.
Right.
Until the new year, that you can go down there and get a cocktail while you wait.
I was going to say, do you have a lot of that, or when people come in and there is a wait, do you send them down to Shiptown to have a cocktail?
We do, and then we call them when it's ready.
So you're actually providing a lot of service. You know, it's not just about come in, sit down, get a plate of food. You're really providing that second level of service to the customers who come in.
Yeah, we try to. I mean, we're not going to win any Michelin stars or anything at any point in time.
Well, it's not. You didn't set out. That wasn't your goal when you set it out. It was to put out really good food.
Yeah, exactly.
Where people can feel comfortable.
Yeah. So in our own way, we're showing the the hospitality that we can provide, if that makes sense.
I mean,
But we still don't have a phone. And I know it really annoys people sometimes.
People trying to call in for reservations and things like that.
Yeah, or you know, we get the occasional person that comes through the door saying, "Yeah, we made a we called and made a reservation. Where's our table?" And we go, "You're lying.
We don't even have a phone.
We don't have a phone.
But thanks for trying."
Yeah. Just happened last week.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, it's funny because I mean, when I've traveled to the Northeast or other regions and eating, you don't go anywhere without planning on an hour plus wait.
Right.
But here, it's literally one of those things where it's, you know, I want it right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the reality is, how many tables or people you see waiting to go to Outback Steakhouse on a Friday night? You know, so.
Just piled in there.
Just think of us as an Outback at that point, and then the waiting will go.
But it's all of a sudden, quicker, it's no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a place, then go get a drink, get comfortable, see a second restaurant that's locally owned.
Exactly.
And then come right down here and have great food.
Yeah, get some oysters, get a couple cocktails.
I mean, it's great. Oh, wait, do we have more comments from Vanessa? Or should we call it the Peanut Gallery?
Do whatever, you know.
It all depends on the comment.
So we have tons and tons of comments, and Oz is waving frantically, actually, asking you to wait. So, we have Nick Sutton online. He says to keep some of that pork shoulder for my next effing patty melt.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Or a butterscotch budino.
That's what he said. Oh, and bring back the butterscotch budino. Yes, he wrote that. And then we have Mark Frank who says, my heckle. Hey Steve, remember that time you had loose sausage?
Loose sausage.
And then
hey, shout out to the Hibachi Express.
And then Jeannie Miller says, it's great in bean soup or red beans and rice. Go Billy's Bacon. Thanks so much.
So you get shout outs all over the place. So you got heckles and good comments.
Yeah.
But all the heckles are good too.
Oh yeah. Those are good people. That Mark Frank does the Spark and Wizard Bug.
Yep, the podcast.
Yeah.
He actually came and sat in on one of our episodes.
Yeah,
Had a good time.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, man. Hey, Mark. Oh, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
But you do a lot of collaboration work too with other chefs, and you know, talking with them and sharing ideas and things like that. And I know, you know, a lot of them look at you as kind of that elder statesman at times.
Which is hilarious, but yeah. Sure, I'll take it.
He'll take that elder statesman role.
Yeah, just like, you know, I think it's important to share ideas and all that good stuff with everybody.
Right on.
And,
what's one of your favorite local sources to get things from?
Like
whether it's a farm or whether it's a local product to use?
Cromwell's.
Cromwell's?
Definitely. Yeah, me and Elizabeth been working together for a while now. And she just knows what, you know, chefs are looking for. With that like size of beets or, you know, just stuff like that. I mean, you know, you go some places and they have the beets that are massive.
Gigantic.
But when you're like, hey, you know, I'm coming to see you. Can I get, you know, some golf ball sized beets? I mean, she'll go above and beyond. You'll wait right there and she'll, you know, take her what is it called? A little golf cart thing they have. Yeah, the gator.
Yeah, we were on the gator with Mark holding the camera. That was entertaining.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, she really cares, you know, and she comes out and supports. I mean, there's a lot of other ones that, you know, do a lot for the industry, you know, New Earth Farms.
Right.
Revamped recently.
They really did.
And they're doing really good. And they got stuff, you know, they started putting like a co-op list out for us.
Yep.
So we can order and they deliver to us, which is awesome.
Which that's a thing that people don't realize, you know, when it comes to local sourcing. These are small farms that, like when we went out there, it's John and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
You know, it's John and his daughter Elizabeth, and they're completely running the farm. They're completely running everything out there, and then still trying to work with you as far as deliveries and things like that. But then you're doing the same thing as far as running restaurants, having a family, and still making runs out to Pungo to pick up produce.
exactly, you know, but they do, like I said, they do a great job. Those are probably some of my favorites. There's Cartwright Farms out there. They do pork, or pigs, pork, and it's Derek out there that's usually running the reins, holding the reins, whatever you want to call it. But they're doing pretty good pork out of Punga right now.
Right.
We have a bunch on our menu right now. Obviously, Autumn Olive Farms. They're in like Waynesboro, Virginia.
Yeah, we ran into them at the farmers market.
Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
good product too.
Yeah, real deal. I mean, you can't get more real deal than those guys.
No, you really can't.
Super nice. I mean, I can't say anything bad about them. Tyler, their son, is great. Yeah, I mean, we just went to a dinner they did for local chefs just to give back to them.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
It was fantastic, you know.
It really is a two-way relationship of a lot of support.
It is, you know, and that's the thing. All these people are very appreciative for it. It's not just a one-way street. It's, you know, which is good. I mean,
yeah,
like it's not the Cisco where, you know, they'll wine and dine you at first, and then when you're not making minimums or whatever else, then they don't care anymore. It's, you know, like they
These
legitimately
are literally family to family.
Yeah, and they care about business,
right?
And, you know, they care about, you know, how's your son doing, and you know, stuff like that. I mean, like we have real relationships with these people, not just phone calls or, you know, ridiculous stuff like that. That, you know, after, like I said, after a certain time and you can't make a minimum, and then basically they'll just drop you because they're like, well, you know, they understand if business is slow,
right.
You know, and we understand too when business is slow, and we'll try to help them out too, you know, like maybe we don't need, you know, two shoulders of pork, but we're going to order them anyways, and we're going to do something with them because, right. You know, I get it. You guys are like need to move that product, or yeah. You guys could probably use a little bit of money too, or whatever else.
And and again, that's the whole draw when you're talking about local. It's not just the local restaurant, but it's the local sources, it's the local families, and at the same time, you know, when you're buying it that way, it's the money is staying right with these families.
Correct.
You know, that person that you might be next door to, or down the road from, or you grew up from, that's how they're keeping their family with a roof over their head, just like you are.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is pretty awesome. Now, you were just working on your vinaigrette over here.
Yeah,
and you use some of the bacon fat?
Bacon fat, a touch of olive oil, and we use sherry vinegar, and that's it.
Bacon vinaigrette. I mean, how much better can you get?
Yeah, and it took 2 seconds to make. I mean, that's the whole premise of this is.
And that is the chestnuts, right?
Yeah, it's a chestnut puree. It's just been fresh, whole chestnuts, or whatever you want to call it, steeped with a little bit of milk, and I mean
that is
and
smooth.
some butter.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, we got more comments, Vanessa?
We have lots of more comments, and I'm going to wait for Oz really quickly to give you the thumbs up.
You just stimulated everybody to talk today.
All right.
Because they know they know I can take it.
So we've got Adrian Cruz online. Hey, Adrian. Amazing food. It's always worth the wait. And then Mark Frank has also said, I describe it as consistent and excellent. And of course, Mark is calling you out, Mark. He's saying, where's your Alabama twang? And thank you again, Billy. We greatly appreciate the bacon. Thanks for watching. All
right, Mark, I'll work on that by spending maybe another road trip down to Alabama. Who knows, maybe that is in our future. And yes, we'd like to go back to Alabama. I'll tell you, I hadn't been to Orange Beach before. I didn't even know there was an Orange Beach in Alabama. The place was awesome.
Yeah?
I would go back down there in a heartbeat. So much fun. And the restaurants were fantastic. We got to go to several while we were down there, and the food was on point. Met a guy named Chris Sherrill, a chef down there who really did a lot of work with the event, and just a fun cast of characters. I mean, I look forward to seeing you again, Chris. So where are we at? So you got you went down with the chestnut first, then you put in the squash and the sweet potato. And now comes Billy's bacon. What do you think?
It's good. It's really good.
And I mean, this is a nice thing. You got these warm, kind of earthy flavors, and then you kind of, with at the addition of the bacon, you're getting that fat. You know, some of bacon's natural sweetness. It just complements what's there.
It's really good. And we're just going to keep them kind of hunks too. Why not, right?
Absolutely. That's a perfect bite-size hunk of bacon. And chestnuts are something I have not really used much myself, and I haven't seen a lot of people use.
Well, there's a reason.
Well, after that couple of hours of work you had there.
Yeah. But you know what? It's worth it. At least once a year.
Yeah.
So we got some kale that's been bruised, so just picked off and salted.
All right.
And a little lemon juice. That's it, right? Salt, lemon juice, a little olive oil.
So salt, lemon juice, and olive oil.
Yeah, so we're gonna just put a little bit of that on there too.
Plus it gives it that nice pop of green color.
Yeah. But kale's also delicious.
It's absolutely a favorite. Man, this is a good looking dish already. Yeah, I just really do have the most viciously difficult job in the world of talking to people long enough to get a plate of food out of it.
Yeah.
It's a rough job.
I mean,
and this really, you know, this is kind of what's inside your wheelhouse. Coming up with dishes, seeing the ingredients, you know, putting them together in kind of their own best light.
yeah, so that's a little toasted and chopped hazelnut. We'll put just a touch of this maple syrup.
Maple syrup,
Why not?
bacon,
I mean,
and
squash,
sweet
maple
potatoes.
syrup, chestnuts, they all kind of go together.
Yeah, I'm not complaining at all.
And then this is just a little shisho, just like a Japanese mint, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit too.
Absolutely.
I mean, with a lot of the times when you come here, we add a lot more stuff in it than the menu says, but I mean, I don't think anybody's really complaining.
No, I haven't heard anybody complain. I know that this, you know, the group of us that are here, absolutely not complaining about what we're seeing right now. And it's funny, people will call and ask when they're like, I have a business meeting, I have people coming to town, where should I take them? And, you know, I'm like, all right, you're going to question me on it, you know, when they get here, but go to LeGrand. Have the burger, you'll win whatever client you're trying to schmooze over. And then when I'll get a phone call back, and then all of a sudden you see, you know, 52 pictures all over Facebook of the burger, and everybody screaming about how great the burger is. And I mean, that's what you want to have. You know, that place where you know the people who are there, you know the food that's going to be made.
We always say the burger's the gateway drug.
It is.
And then, here you go.
Check
and I could
that out.
I could plate that a lot quicker too, by the way. But I was just trying to drag some time out.
Have some fun with it. Here you go, Elsie. Elsie's our food photographer extraordinaire. You know what's funny is we give her the plate. She's like, I'm taking this to take pictures. And what happens is I finally figured out she has to take a picture of the empty plate too, because once we see the plate again, it's gone. And she was like, oh, I needed the bottom of the plate. Yeah, there goes Oz. Billy Oz is going after your bacon again. So this is a beautiful plate. And, you know, the toughest part we have of the show is for us to taste it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's dig in. You got a couple of forks we can steal? I mean, I'll go right after the pork belly.
If you get a couple forks, chef.
Man, that pork belly is good.
It's good. It's delicious. Yeah, so these guys can tell you the last couple, since last week, basically the only thing I've been eating for employee meal is grilled squash. There's something good about it, yeah.
It really is.
It fills you up, it's meaty.
I do a lot of that. I'll go up there. I love to go to the farms and get butternut and get, you know, whatever they have out there. I've started picking up white sweet potato lately.
Yeah, white sweet potatoes.
Love white sweet potato. All right, I think I can compose it with a little bit of everything. Here we go.
It's all right. No, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's freaking awesome. And it's funny, you started the whole thing off with saying it was going to be a vegetarian dish with bacon. And the dish can absolutely stand up completely on its own without the bacon. But the addition of the bacon,
It's good, yeah.
it's just freaking incredible. And that puree is fantastic.
Yeah, it's super rich. I mean, chestnuts are so rich.
Totally worth the work that I didn't have to do.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man,
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
I think it worked out outstanding. I mean, I'm going to have to go ahead and put my stamp of approval. This has been a successful ambush. And I can't tell you how much, what a joy it is to watch you guys work. Even when you guys were prepping while we were setting up, it's not opening a bunch of cans, not cutting bags open, not thawing stuff out of a freezer in a tray. It's watching actual ingredients get made into food.
Yeah. And, you know, we have a great staff here. And I hope they're with me for a long time. And,
It is. It's a good group of guys.
and if not, then there's hell to pay. No, I'm kidding. No,
And for
but,
those who are on there, they're actually here watching right now. So,
yeah, there is.
but it was good. It was good communication. But more importantly for me, it was actually getting to see real food get made.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
So
appreciate it.
definitely a positive kitchen ambush. So where can they find LeGrand if they want to look it up?
4515 Collie Avenue.
There you go.
Yeah.
No,
Just look for the orange
social
door.
media.
Yeah. Just. Oh yeah. So I man the Instagram page. Half the time it's pictures of my son, or if I get a shameless plug for one of my bands or my band, or if I dust off and skate and I feel like I did
Sharing it with everybody.
a sweet trick that night or whatever, I'll post it on there. And we do post some food pics on there too. But we like, that being all said, I like to make sure that people know that we're just more than a restaurant.
Right.
We're like, we actually have lives outside of it, and we like,
You're real people.
yeah, we like to have fun and whatever else. So
I mean, that's the beauty of being local. Like you talked about the chain restaurants out there. You're not going to see that. You're not going to bump into the person who's creating these dishes,
right,
and actually going to be behind the bar and see you. That's not what you can put on. But with local, you're going to get to see the family. You're going to get to see the food. You're going to get to see
that's what we're
what's
here
awesome
for.
about local. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
And this has been another episode of Kitchen Ambush from Norfolk at LeGrand Restaurant. If you haven't been here, you don't like good food. I'm just going to put it pretty simple. I'm going to lay the gauntlet now. If you haven't been out here, it's on Collie Avenue, right outside of Ghent, and you have zero excuse not to be here. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course the all-important YouTube at youtube.com/kitchenambush, where you can find every episode we've done. But other than that, I look forward to being here again without a camera and just sit down and eat. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem.
Great
My
ambush.
pleasure.
We'll see you next week. Yeah, man, this is out of bounds.
Thanks. Appreciate it.